Good morning from the Hashknife. I'm Calen. Today, we'll be doing a small review of the DJI Mini 3 drone. Some useful information to know. This whole setup was $949 on Amazon. And then we added a small SD card for another $30. The SD card holds 128 gigabytes. And what I'll show you as well is it's got the mini SD that will go into the drone itself. The SD card overall is simply an adapter. So you pull this out, this little mini SD goes inside the drone at the back, and then to put it onto a computer, you just insert it into the SD card and insert that into your computer. In this setup, we received 3 additional blades for in case of a collision or any sort of accident. There is a small screwdriver for repairs. Haven't needed to use that yet. There are 2 charging cords, and these charging cords are C to C. If you have that for your phone already, it's been working fantastic for us. The charging cable that we use for our phones, we've simply been inserting into the remote, the drone itself, or the battery pack charger, and it has worked fantastic. Fast charge, rapid charge. It holds just fine. There hasn't been any issues as of yet. Haven't found any things in the manuals to say we can't use that, so it's been working fantastic. The drone itself is great. It's easy to put together and to unfold. In the pack, you get 4 guides. There's a quick start guide, a safety guidelines, Japan flight safety rules, information for Australia and New Zealand as well. There is warranty information in this flight safety rules, and then the Fly More combo information. Honestly, this stuff is good to start off just real quick and dirty. However, the important thing to get is the scan, the QR scan, which you will find at the back of the box. Once you open it up, if you scan this QR code, that will get you the information that you need for any sort of guide information on your drone. The next thing was there is no anti-collision, like I said, with the DJI Mini Pro 3, but there is wind resistance, and it's considered a level 5. The level 5 will handle up to, I believe it's 35 kilometers an hour wind speed, which is roughly 25, I think, miles per hour. The pack comes with 3 batteries, 1, 2, and then the third is inside. I've been rotating each battery. None have had an issue. The remote control is easy to assemble. Each joystick is actually placed on the back, so I'll show you. What you end up doing is you just remove it from the back. There's a small screw on where the joystick is supposed to go, and you simply tighten it on. Just put it on there and slowly screw it on. Once you have it screwed on, just nice and snug. Doesn't need to be over tight. And there's your joysticks. A couple reasons we bought this one. We've seen some others that were on a budget less than $100. They looked fantastic. Problem was they weren't wind resistant. The video was not as great. The holding of a charge was okay, but that meant the flight time was still also minimal. With this, you have 3 different battery packs. We're getting roughly 25 minutes per flight per battery pack. And once you hit the 10% point on your battery, it warns you very audibly to return home. With 5 minutes left, it will auto return home unless you cancel that, in which case you need to be bringing it home immediately. Otherwise, it will land very soon. The biggest perks to this particular purchase were the screen on the remote control without the cell phone or an app added to it. There were extra battery packs, not just the one, but the one on the drone, and then the 2 extras with the charging capability. The SD card we bought, it's 128 gigabytes. Like I said, it's got its own mini that has the adapter for an actual SD card for a computer. And then on top of all of that, it's a 2-year protection program. All of that combined together for $979 without taxes. So just under $1,000 for this whole setup. Wind stabilization is fantastic. We've already tried it in about 15-mile-an-hour winds here in Montana. It's been doing great. It's been taking care of some pretty good shots. Just like any aircraft, as the hotter it gets, the less stable it is. But that's with anything to be expected. The ease of control on the learning curve was very, very easy. We practiced a little bit on a borrowed drone from a friend. It was about an $80 drone, significantly difficult to handle. This, we picked it up immediately. And again, this is not the DJI Mini Pro, so there is no anti-collision. You just got to pay attention to what you're doing. This is on the side of the box. It's ultralight and foldable. Then it has a 38-minute flight time. We found it's more closer to about 25 minutes. The 4K HDR video, it's fantastic. And you can go true vertical. So you can go 90 degrees upward or 90 degrees downward with a total of 180-degree movement up and down. And then, of course, you get a panoramic view when you completely spin the drone to the right or to the left. Intelligent features with quick shots. It says panorama. I have not tried that, but those quick shots are really easy to find and easy to do. Level 5 wind resistance. It says 38 kilometers an hour, which again, I think it's closer to 25 miles per hour, not kilometers. And then 10-kilometer vision transmission. As I said, everything on here has been pretty easy. So I have a fully charged battery pack on the drone, and I have a fully charged remote control. Within about 5 days, I had everything pretty much figured out for what we need. There's nothing fancy. First thing to do, you're gonna have to remove this bubble. This bubble is fantastic for protecting the camera on the drone, but you can't see anything very well while it's flying. We did test it out just for argument's sake, but it's very difficult to see through. So once you do that, your camera is exposed, so you need to be very, very careful. Next thing, make sure you have your remote control charged up. There are a couple different things on here that's interesting to know. There are 3 modes: cinema, normal, and sport. Cinema is 6 meters a second for flight time. Normal is 10 meters per second flight. And sport is 16 meters per second. So 6, 10, and 16. For some of my good camera shots, I've been sticking with cinema and normal. Normal's fine. It is a little fast, but cinema's been doing a fantastic job. So we have our joysticks controlled or added to it from the back here, taking those out, added them on. So now we just need to get the drone up and running. Let's unfold the drone. This one with the angle will go kind of upward. So you do it kind of like that. Just be gentle with it. If it's not working, slow down. Don't try and rush through it. And then the straighter ones will just come straight backwards. Once you have this set, you'll place it down with the feet downward. So your drone's going to set like this. Make sure you put it in a clear, open area. I normally place it outwards away from me so that it's ready to go and it's not facing towards me. What then you have to do next is you have to actually start your remote first. So I tried this the other day. I tried to start my drone first and it didn't work. So you press the power and then you hold. So press and then hold, and then you'll do the same thing with your drone. You'll press the little button and then hold it and it'll start right up. It'll twitch. It's not going to hit you, I promise. I've been a little concerned about that, but it didn't ever hit me so far. And it's starting up. So my remote is getting prepped up right now, and you might be hearing it chime, and it takes just a couple minutes to start up. On that first initial start, it'll take probably 10 minutes for a firm update, linking the Wi-Fi, and so on and so forth. I haven't found anything yet where I was too far away from Wi-Fi. It was more concerned with the connection to the remote itself. So I'm going to continue to keep it on cinema. You can easily toggle in between. So I'm now normal or sport. I'm going to keep it in cinema. Now you can kind of see, there you go, talking to me, letting it think. Now there is no SD card and it's reminding me of that right here, which is fantastic if you're trying to record, but we're not doing that today. So just to lift it up real quick, I'm going to hit this little button right there. If it'll listen to me, it's a touch screen. There we go, touched it. And then you're gonna press and hold this button until it comes green, and then you release. And then it's gonna just lift right up. There you go. You can see the 2 of them right there. Now I did set it up in the 3rd setting on the quick start guide, which the 3rd setting is more like a Xbox or a PlayStation if you're interested in it. So this is going to be your right control is gonna go up for gaining altitude, or you bring it down for lowering and losing your altitude. See how that happened. All right, now if you go right, it will shift right and turn right. And you can see that on the screen and on the drone in front. Or if you go left, it will turn left and toggle left. Now, on the left-hand joystick, if you go forward, it will go forward. If you go backwards, it will go backwards. If you go to the left, it'll go left. If you go to the right, it'll go to the right. So again, I set this up more like a Xbox or a PlayStation, but now we'll take this, and I know you can kind of see my reflection in the screen. I do apologize, but you can see on the screen that it'll move around right here. You can see how the drone is moving around, so on and so forth. And what it'll do is, you can see in the bottom left corner, the height is the height of the origin of the home point. The distance is how far away it is, but the height is the vertical distance. Now, if you're on a hill and you go below that hill, the height will say a negative number. For example, if I'm up on this hill and I go down to the bottom of the creek, you'll get about a 10-foot drop in distance. That's not to be concerned. Don't worry about it. Up here is your battery time and your control with your satellites for GPS. Your remote control strength is the RC. And then over here, you can zoom and you can do some quick shots. So let me show you some quick shots. I'll take this little movie appearance looking thing, and you go to quick shots, and you might see some things on TikTok and so on and so forth. And you can do like a circle. So I'll push circle. It shows me what it's supposed to look like. So I'll minimize out on that. And what you do is you set your camera up so that it looks down at what you want to do it at. So I'll take this little tiny thing right here, and I'm going to bring down the vertical appearance to look down on the cars right here. So I'm just going to gain some altitude for safety purposes, because again, this doesn't have anti-collision. So we're at about 100 feet off the ground. We should be good. We'll back up a little bit. All right, so we have this in circle mode, and I'm just going to make a square around those vehicles right there. And then once it's set, you push start. You can choose a different setting and so forth, but we're going to go back to video because that's what we were doing. So I'll bring it back. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide to land. So I'm going to take this all the way down to 90 degrees below. And you can set this up so that it lands exactly where you want it to. You can manually land it, or you can have the computer system do it. So I'm just going to lose my altitude now. I'll just toggle over, and it's coming down. So we got it right here. So there's my drone. Here's my controls. So I'm going to set this back up to where it's at 0. I'm going to hit it back at 0. You can probably see it right there. Got it nice and low. So now you're going to do the same thing you did to land. You're going to tap this screen, or tap this button on the screen, and you're going to press and hold until it's completely green. Release. You got to push. It's safe. Landing. There you go. And that's it. Once our flight is complete, the remote control will still be working. You can actually see it still toggling on the screen. I can see the camera and everything right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the button on the back and press and hold just like you did to start. Press and then hold down, and it's completely shut off. The screen will actually go gray to show that it's no longer recording. There you go. It's like black and white photo. And then what you do is you do this exact same thing with the remote. Press and hold down, and it's all done.